In North Carolina means you will soon be able to bet on your favorite sports teams right from the palm of your hand.
Governor Roy Cooper signed House Bill 347 into law. That clears the way for wagering on sports events and on horse racing. WECT's Zach Solon dug into the details of that bill. Now, Zach, even though the governor signed it today, betting's not going to start for a while.
That's right, John. Most parts of the new law do not go into effect until next year. In the meantime, the state will begin taking applications from sports wagering websites and issue up to 12 licenses. Lawmakers expect this to bring a lot of money into the state.
Right, we now have sports wagering in North Carolina.
North Carolina becomes the latest state to legalize online sports betting. Governor Roy Cooper signed the bill into law Wednesday, knowing this is a big step in the world of wagering.
This legislation allows the state of North Carolina to regulate it and to put safeguards on it, as well as providing funding for helping people with problem gambling.
That funding comes from an 18% tax placed on sports betting apps and websites. Those opposed to the legislation have expressed concern that gambling can lead to addiction. However, the law calls for $2 million to go to gambling addiction education and treatment programs.
There has been now and will continue to be a debate on how to invest the revenue that has been generated or that will be generated from this legislation. And there are some very good investments for this bill.
The law will also direct money to athletic departments at smaller North Carolina colleges. UNCW will receive at least $300,000 per year as part of the new law. UNCW Athletics Director Mike Oblinger says, quote, "I want to thank our state leaders for including UNCW among the universities eligible for support that will be generated by the sports wagering law. This public funding will have a positive impact on our student athletes, coaches, staff, facilities, and the entire UNCW athletics program," end quote. You can't place your bets yet. The law won't take effect until at least January of 2024 as a commission decides which wagering sites can set up shop in North Carolina. The governor is also hopeful that legalizing mobile sports betting could attract more professional sports teams to the state. Zach Solon, WECT News.